She is.
Oh, we're recording now.
We're not just recording, we are live.
Oh boy.
This is live. So you're getting used to this now.
Yeah.
It's all good.
I work for you.
Yeah, this is true. And yeah, if you're in our office, you don't get out of being in front of a camera. That's how we do. So hi, welcome back. If this is your first time catching us live today, my name is Becky Higgins. This is Toni. And we're working on Toni's own personal Project Photo Rescue. We are on a mission to rescue her photos. And before we got started, she's feeling like so many of us do, as far as being overwhelmed by all the pictures, feeling stuck and not knowing how to move forward. And all it takes sometimes is a second outside person to just come in and assess together with you and then just kind of look at the whole situation and make some suggestions. That's all this is. That's all it is. All right, so part one of this, so that you can know if you want to go back and look, part one was like a really, it's always interesting to me because you don't think that listening to a couple of people talking about scrapbooking would be interesting, but any of you who watch, it's kind of insightful. It's interesting because you really do get introspective about why you are doing it, why you're interested, and that really grounds you as you move forward. So we did a lot of talking in phase one, or part one. Part two was right over there. We gathered all of your photos over there, but more importantly, we had a pretty good glance at each of your scrapbooks that you have done. Did we do a count by chance? Or do you want to roughly look? Because before we started, I mean, if you see them over there, just without
Actual scrapbooks, I have 4. But
you
albums.
No, you have to count those.
I know.
You count like that little cruise album and that little high school reunion album. That's an album.
15.
So maybe 10?
15.
15. Case in point, everyone
Wow.
always has done more. See?
No,
Than they think. Does this happen every time, Molly?
Oh, yes.
Every single
Always.
time. Did it happen with me?
Yes.
Slightly embarrassing how many I thought I had and how many I had. That's another topic. So we're all about Toni right now. And because this is live and interactive, please feel free to chime in with comments and questions. If they are very pertinent to what we're talking about, then Molly will interrupt us and chime in.
Is Facebook being better right now?
Yeah.
It was choppy for a second, but it looks like it's doing well right now.
Good.
Thank you, Facebook.
Thank you. Yeah, we did have some technical issues in the second one. So what I want to say about that is if you try to watch it later, if it's still choppy, please do not despair because we're going to make sure that a good, clean, uninterrupted copy of the broadcast, which we are able to get through our Mevo camera, is going to land on YouTube. Yay! So we'll be okay, even if you have the technical issue experience today. So, all right, also, let's see, this is our final. Part 3 is the last of the 3-part broadcast that we decided to do with Toni. We haven't done it like this before, and we hope that you're enjoying it because it's very real, live. We didn't plan any of this. We just knew that we were going to talk through it. I planned what I was going to be asking Toni and walking her through these different steps. And for those of you watching, if you're feeling like you relate to Toni and you're able to pull away a lot of takeaways, that is awesome. If you're searching for more specific help and you would like a little bit more individualized advice and things like that, we are working on a way to bring that possibility to you. So that's something that we'll be talking more about during birthday month, which is in October. And so stay tuned for that. So excited. We have a lot planned for October. Oh, good sign. What?
I know.
I didn't know you did that.
That's all I know.
You don't know any other sign language?
I think I know the whole song. That's not No, I know.
Yes, father, mother. Okay.
Got it.
Sorry. A little sidetrack. I love sign language. I didn't know that you knew happy birthday. That's so good. All right, so as always, as you're watching Facebook Live, if you feel like this is interesting enough that others might want to watch, just click on the share button. It's fun for us to see you share that with others. So, all right, ready?
Yeah.
Let's do this.
Okay.
Let's make this happen. So this is the final what?
I'm just Connor.
Connor? Hey, Connor.
Hi.
Hi. Connor's eating and maybe doing something. Good. Oh, he's studying. That's awesome. All right, and then Courtney, if you just saw her walk by, the pretty girl. I mean, that's the pretty girl, but she births beautiful babies as well. Ignore me. It's all good. All right, here we go. When we, in part 2, assessed all of your pictures, or your scrapbooks, really, we have not opened a single box. We don't know what's going on in here yet. But we do know, all we need to know is that there's a chaos, amount. There's
Oh, yeah.
pictures in here that are not at all organized. That's all we need to know.
Right.
We're not going to sort through them specifically right in this moment. But what I want to know from you kind of going through those scrapbooks is this. When you look through those and you're remembering, oh yeah, I did that. Oh yeah, we have that. I need to know or have a general idea of what your personal feeling is on what you're so glad you have, or what you're like, I don't really need to do that. And again, this is so, so important to emphasize it. I'm not talking about any sense of regret or I wish I hadn't done that, because nobody regrets scrapbooking. But at the same time, in order to move forward and make a game plan that makes sense for you, I kind of need to know right from your heart, like, what are you feeling like I need to be doing more of this based on what you've already done? Or, you know what, none of that matters.
I like what I've done because that was me then.
Okay?
So I don't regret the goofy borders and the trying to write in calligraphy and cutting out of the pictures. Yeah, I don't regret doing any of that because they're still fun. They're fun to look at. But when I look at, like, we were playing at some of those other albums, just from an organizational and just aesthetic standpoint, I would love to have everything look the same. Which isn't going to happen totally because of some of those scrapbooks, but I would love to take those cruise pictures and our New York pictures and things like that and use them in the app and then make them into photo books. And then everything, will be labeled and just look, it'll just look pretty.
You like the idea of a uniform look. Not everybody does.
Yeah.
So you do.
Yeah.
When it comes to a uniform look, this is my question because I'm a little bit confused on it. Are you, because I know you're really excited about the photo books that are coming to the app. I am too, like, I can't wait for that. But there's no way I'm gonna go back and switch like everything to, this one thing. I need to know where you are with that. Are you wanting to, and I'm saying in a perfect world, and it takes some time, because it's not like you can do it all at once, even from a cost standpoint, like that's crazy. But are you hoping to get all of those in photo book form?
Not all of them, maybe a couple of them.
Okay.
Maybe like the cruise and the New York trips kind of things.
In photo book format?
In a photo book format.
But then you're okay having some in albums?
Yes.
Physical albums?
Yeah, because, and also, again, just from a decorative standpoint, like I said, when we were going through this, I'm like, I don't even know what's in these, and we don't pull them out to look at them all the time. I wouldn't mind having some of those albums stored in my closet, that will take place in the office boxes, that are still accessible, but, easy to grab and look through or whatever, but maybe don't go with the look that I'm looking for. I love the idea of a uniform, just, books by years or events or whatever.
So if they're uniform and if you're okay with some albums, some are photo books, I'm hearing that 12 by 12 is your size, right?
Yes. Yes. But the books, I believe,
photo books
that will come through the app,
yes,
will there be a size between 8 by 8 and 10, 12 by 12?
yes,
And it's called the 10 by 10.
yes,
And I love that.
and that's what you're loving.
Yes.
Okay, so if you print photo books, when you print photo books, you want to do the 10 by 10 size. But for albums, you want to do 12 by 12? That's what I'm trying to figure out. I need to know that because it really plays into the game plan.
Well, I can't do the app pages.
Yeah, I mean, make it 8 by 8.
Well, I would say I didn't like the 8 by 8.
Right.
I tried the 8 by 8. For me, I just felt like those were a little too small. I like the 12 by 12 size and what I'd already done in that 2015 album, which I'm totally happy with.
Right.
But when I start doing in photo books, like I have 20 something pages already saved up for 2016.
Right.
When photo books are available, I'm planning to print those as a 10 by 10.
Got it. Okay.
Does that help?
Yes, it does help because I need to know that when you want that. It's you know because I preach this all the time, but beginning with the end in mind and why that's so important is because I would never want to give you advice and say you should do this, ready, set, go, unless I knew what your end vision was. And your end vision from an aesthetic standpoint is with all of your scrapbooks, they're either skinny little photo books that you're going to print through the Project Life app, or if they are albums, you want those 12 by 12 and uniform. Like all the same color even?
Probably.
Great, good to know. Don't know what color, because we're still figuring out some color questions with anyway.
Random job.
But well, your real job is figuring out some of that, but okay. All right, is there anything else from an emotional, you have something?
Yeah. So, but aren't you going to have them all be photo books? Are you even going to have 12 by 12 albums besides the one you have?
Yeah.
I don't, well, actually, going forward, there will be photo books.
Yeah.
Going forward.
Going forward, there will be photo books. So anything that I made use as a photo book will be at 10 by 10, but I'll still keep that 12 by 12 for 2015. I have no problem with that. It's already done.
So you won't have any more 12 by 12 albums going forward. It'll all be photo books.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense to do albums going
Yeah.
forward. Yes.
No, you're right. It would be.
Okay, so here's a thought, and I'll just, because that goes along with what Molly's clarifying and asking, is that when you think about those little photo book little albums that have just a bunch of 4x6 pictures in them, you've got one for cruise, you've got one for your high school reunion, you've got another one for Disney, I think, or whatever it was. That is one possibility, is that you take those pictures, forget about scanning and creating Project Life app, let's focus more on that for like going forward scrapbooking, but for existing scrapbooks, and to make those as uniform as possible, maybe it makes a lot of sense to take a 12 by 12 physical album, and within that album, you have that Disney trip, that New York trip, that high school reunion. It's just a thought, hold on, because I know you said you like it that has its own album, but just think about your end result. You want that end result to be uniform albums on a shelf. So one of those albums could be that within that you have a few different sections of certain trips or events. Use our scrapbook dividers to divide those sections. You literally take those 4x6 pictures out of this album, stick them in photo pocket pages.
Because they're all in order already.
Yeah, there's no reason to reinvent the wheel with what you've already done. It's just a transfer to get them into an album so it's more uniform. Are you open to that?
Yes. And I have the
This is good. This is super good. And the reason I wasn't sure if you would like that is because you did mention that you like that the high school reunion has its own scrapbook, but that fights against your desire to have uniform albums. So I think we might be able to find the perfect balance. Okay, good. So was there anything else as we lay out this game plan that you need to make sure I understand about what matters to you or what does not matter? Or do you think that we've covered it? Okay, so going forward, you're going to do better at what type of documenting in general? Kind of like you did last year?
Yeah.
Like
I kind of feel like I'm more on top of it, but now my issue is tackling all of the prior stuff.
Okay.
So.
All right, and you have become, I think, in my opinion, a good documenter. You're really good about getting those everyday shots as well as the fun trips. Yeah. Well, you're doing good. That's progress.
Well, and what's interesting is that Instagram, because I will post a picture on Instagram and it goes on Facebook, so I have all those pictures as well. So as I'm feeling like I need to go in back and I can't get my train of thought. Go back, like for instance, a San Diego trip a couple years ago.
Yeah.
All those pictures are on Facebook.
Yeah.
Like I don't even need to scan those.
Right.
They're already there. I can go into Facebook and resave them in my camera roll. Now they're in my camera roll, and I can use them in the app.
Yes.
And complete those.
Okay. So that there's a little bit of going back that you want to do. Okay. So Oh, I thought Molly had a question. All right. So here is how we're going to move forward. You have mentioned in part one of these 3 parts that we've done with Toni. She mentioned that one of the things that is the most short-term, time-sensitive. I got to get this done.
No, it's okay.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Are you sure? Shoot. We're talking about Connor, but he's in the room.
It's fine.
You're sure?
It's surprise.
Okay.
Because it may or may not happen. And
don't you get all
I have a
expectation.
saying in my life, and I have a sign up there and it's on my bracelet that it is what it is. And I get to that point where if something's not going to happen, it's no big deal, it is what it is.
Okay.
So I'm kind of like that right now.
Good. That's
some things.
Yeah. That's a really great mentality to have, and I'm so glad that you brought that up. All right, so here's what you talked about. Short term, time sensitive, coming up really fast, super right. He's leaving in 13 days, but even before that, with family gathering and everything like that, with everyone coming in, you would like to have some sort of a slideshow running on your TV here in your home that shows all these pictures from his life.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. In order to achieve that, I know that if you could click your heels 3 times, you would love to be able to pull from what's in these boxes. So I'm feeling like you almost need to give all of your attention to that and then worry about the rest. But I still can help you with that overall big picture before you even dive into that, and that's this. You have, and I don't think that you guys can see everything that's in front of us, but there are approximately 8 boxes from shoebox size to giant tote on the floor. There's approximately 8 boxes I'm seeing here, that's a lot, and it's overwhelming, but it's like a tenth of what a lot of people watching are walking watching, they're probably like, that's it.
Yeah, because the rest of them are on here.
Right. And this right here is the mothership.
Yes.
This is a hard drive with thousands and thousands of pictures, and if you miss it in parts 1 or 2, you just need to go search Toni's Project Photo Rescue on our YouTube channel or on our blog, because then you can catch all of the advice that she got from tech expert Kevin, who gave her basically an outline of what to do in rescuing the photos that are digital.
Yeah.
And so there's a whole organizational process to that she's been working on and chipping away at. She's in the middle of it. She's making awesome progress. She's sleeping better at night, maybe not like literally, but you're sleeping better at night knowing that they're all getting into some like commonplace and order, okay? So having said that, all of these pictures are just kind of everywhere. So my thought is that you take one box at a time. Like, do not look at the other boxes when you're in the one box. Just start with the one box. You've already said that this place might be your gathering place for this project and with your family. And you take one box at a time. I don't know if you guys can see this or not. Okay.
Yeah. Holy cow.
Yeah, this is random. This is a
Yes.
lot of randomness.
Yeah, there's like no order.
Okay, let's talk about order. We have to talk about this. Beginning with the end in mind. The end result is what? Now, don't answer that.
Thank you.
Yeah, hold on, just hold up. If you were to just dive into this box and go, okay, I'm gonna start organizing, how would you organize? Do you know?
I don't even know. That's
Right.
why I presented.
Right. So you have to think about what is the goal here. And so when you think long term, Connor, Courtney, and Caitlin are all off and married, they have their own families, you become a grandma, like think way down the road, way down. What is the end result? What do you want? Do you want each of your kids to have an album or two that's kind of like their life? Do you want you want to be mother, you want to be a mother hoarder and you keep all of the scrapbooks at home and they leave with nothing? That's a bad thing. I'm just illustrating that sometimes people just like all the scrapbooks at their house. What do you want?
I would love to send them with their own scrapbooks.
Okay, so they each have something
Yes.
that represents their first 18 years.
Yes.
Am I
Yes.
close?
Or 19. Yeah.
Or 19. So is this one album? Is this 2 or 3? Can you think just in general of what feels like a good,
Well,
and can you guys chime in if you have an opinion? Like what you would like to have? Do you think?
One album of their whole life?
Don't question him. Don't question him.
I mean,
Come over here. Come over here for a second.
Come over here.
Let's just do this. Come right behind us so that they can see you and hear you. This is good, because we're actually here to chime in. All right. So this is Connor. This is Courtney. They're 18.
19.
19. Liar. I'm a liar. You're being blocked by your mom's light. There you go. Say that. Okay. Can you see him okay, Race? Okay.
Sweet.
And they were not prepared for this, so I'm throwing everybody a curveball, but I want to know, when you really envision being gone and away from the house, and literally you have families of your own, you're off, you're doing your life, right? You have a family. What do you feel like would be a good amount of photos and stories and memories preserved from your childhood that would feel sufficient? Like, and there's no right or wrong answer to this. This is not like a trick question. I want to know what feels good to you, because I know how to answer the question for myself, but I'm asking you.
I like pictures and
Okay.
photos and memories and stuff, so I would like a lot. I don't
So are you saying that,
not more than one.
Well, okay, so
but-
now
okay,
I'm thinking like a ton of pictures just in one album.
so you're saying one album that summarizes basically your whole life at home before you
Yeah,
go off
before I
and
left.
become a man, is sufficient, and that would be good for you.
Yeah.
I love his answer. Don't freak out about it. I love your answer. And the reason why I love it is because, first of all, guys are simpler. They're a little bit less sentimental anyway, but also, turning back to these guys, it's so doable for anyone who has a kid graduating from high school or leaving the nest in some way. You can absolutely get an entire lifetime or childhood in one album. You can. And in fact, that's gotta feel a little liberating.
Yeah.
Because it's possible.
You better answer the same.
All right. All
Courtney
right.
said she wanted a lie.
No pressure.
Well, I don't know what, like, it depends on, like, how you're making them. Like, if it's, like,
Okay, let's talk about it this way. If it is now, it's a photo book. That's what it would be. It's like a skinny little photo book, because your mom likes to do pages in the app. So if it's a skinny little photo book and not a full-size album, does that change anything for you? Or is, good, stay there. Okay, skinny little photo book, is one sufficient, or do you feel like you would love to have maybe 2 or 3 or more?
I like to.
I think it's a photo.
Photo books, it could be like
It's
that.
like,
You can throw
yeah.
out pictures in there.
Oh, absolutely. That's what I'm saying. You're done. You're good. Like one album is doable, and you're thinking that maybe 2 or 3 or more.
Well, I don't know. I guess one is good. They're so different.
So maybe more.
Yeah, like 2, maybe. I don't know.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
As long as it's just pictures.
What
If
do you
it's-
mean?
What do you mean?
So if you were to throw a bunch of other stuff in there, 'cause I mean, like now I'm looking at like, well, I guess it's different for like growing up. But when I think of like my mission and stuff, there's a ton
That's
of other
different.
things.
Oh,
That's
I'm
different.
on top of that.
Oh, there's a whole other plan for that.
Okay, cool.
We're talking about the first 18 into 19 years, like your childhood,
Okay.
right?
Yeah, that's why I was thinking like maybe like one of like when I was a baby till
I don't even see
before
a ton
high
of the
school,
same
and then
things.
maybe like one of
One in
high
high school?
One of high
This is
school.
good. Okay, thank
Maybe
you.
in high school. Okay.
No, this is awesome. Wait. Connor, were you saying something?
No, I think it's good.
So you're still okay with one photo book that summarizes your whole childhood,
Yes.
including high school?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I'm also okay with her idea.
Okay. That's what we
Because
do.
I
All right, now you're done. Thank you. All right, so you're hearing it directly from them. I'm so sorry that I'm like helping you.
so
But I will say that because one of the pieces of advice that we give, that I give to customers too when they write me, is start with what you're excited about.
Yep, I haven't gotten there yet. That is absolutely
Okay.
true.
So
Yes.
I'm excited about his mission,
Uh-huh.
and we have a mission kit in the app.
Yep.
So I've already done a few pages.
There's no question
For
that's
him.
going to be
So
part
that'll
of
be-
what, yeah, that's
that
like
should
a
be easy.
no-brainer.
Yeah.
And it's part of your game plan.
Yeah.
All right, so now knowing that you want Connor and Courtney and Caitlin to each pretty much have their childhood summarized. Now, Courtney was saying like most of her childhood, and then maybe a second one would be her high school years. I think that's brilliant.
Yeah.
And Connor said himself he doesn't mind that. And if it's
Yeah.
easier for you to kind of do it the same for all 3 of your kids, please do that. Okay? So that's kind of like my one thing. Now, what do you guys want to keep at home? Because
Probably a copy of every one of those.
so guess what? You're killing 2 birds with
I
1
know.
stone. You're not. That's so brilliant. That's what's so great about the app is that you just make copies.
Yeah.
Just make copies of multiples of each of those pages. Great. Okay. So is there anything else that's missing though? So you've got your family books or the ones that copies of your kids. Is there anything else that you feel like needs to be in this collection of photo books?
Well, there would probably still be a book that would be just a family yearbook.
Okay.
Like when we take, well, which is going to be not ending soon, but no, it'll just be changing.
Uh-huh.
It'll
It's
just
just
be
evolving.
changing.
Okay.
You know, before it was, the 5 of us taking vacations and things like that. But next summer he's going to be gone, so now it's going to be the 4 of us taking vacation.
But it's still your family.
But it's still our family,
your core
right.
and things that you're doing. So
Yeah.
that would be kind of
yeah,
like a
so
family
it'll still be
yearbook.
this, yeah.
Just ongoing stuff that you're doing, stuff you're up to. Okay. All right. So when you're facing this giant pile, when you're facing this giant pile of photos, and you're looking at all of these boxes, and you've got this slideshow you want to do, you've got childhood books you want to do for your kids, you want to continue with your family scrapbooking, and you want to do a mission scrapbook for Connor
Yes.
while he's gone.
Yes.
Connor, are you sharing pictures while you're away?
Yes, in Dropbox.
Totally.
Boom.
Pictures all the time.
That is awesome. So he can put them in Dropbox. You can pull them from Dropbox
Yeah.
in your scrapbooking machine.
Yes.
Mama machine.
Okay.
So good. Okay, good. All right, so knowing that and facing these, this is how I would move forward. There is, in my mind, a complete doable possibility is you and the family, everyone's involved and everyone's helping in doing this together, where you guys sit down for an evening. It might be over the course of 2 evenings, but you guys sit down with 1 box at a time and you go picture by picture. Now that you have an idea of how you want to do these scrapbooks, now you know how to sort.
Okay.
So instead of it being like, well, I guess we'll just do it chronological or we'll just do it for whatever, now you know there's a Connor pile. Because you want to focus on Connor and his childhood. There's a Courtney pile, there's a Caitlin pile, and then there's a family pile. So that you can actually, if you want to, maybe just make a handful of app pages that are highlights of family stuff that hasn't been scrapbooked. I do not recommend that you scrapbook every single picture. I've already said that, but it was in another part of this. because it will probably turn you off and go, never mind, I'm done. It doesn't make sense. And so that would be my numero uno recommendation, is with the physical prints that you have, sort them into piles like we talked about first. Once you have those piles, forget about the girls, right? Because we're prioritizing that Connor's leaving the nest, he's leaving for 2 years, you got this slideshow on your TV that you want to do, and you also, whether or not you work on his baby or childhood book first doesn't matter, but we've got that slideshow.
Yeah.
So once you've sorted and you make your Connor pile and your Courtney and your Caitlin and your family, those piles, set the other piles, keep them in boxes, but like to the side. Don't even think about them. Focus only on the Connor pile, and I will go ahead and just get them all scanned. Just scan them all. We're using the Fujitsu. It's called Scan Snap. That's the scanner that we have at the office. I have it at home. I use it all the time. You can use that one, and just mass scan, because you can stick the whole piles in. Mass scan all of those. Put them in Dropbox. Don't worry about subcategorizing yet, because you've got a slideshow to quickly put together. Molly.
Someone wondered, does that scanner scan in high resolution if you want to make enlargements?
Absolutely. Yeah. In fact, that scanner allows you to put. You can make the setting PDF or JPEG or other file types. So you can make it 200 DPI or 600 or 1200 DPI. You can make the quality and the size of all of that whatever you want, and you can change it between pictures if you want to. In Toni's case, she has boxes of 4x6s and other size. So I'm going to encourage her to go, literally, if this is like she's already sorted and she has the Connor pile, you're going to take the Connor pile and you're going to stick it in the machine, and it's just going to bring them right through.
It's fast, I've seen it.
Very fast. It's really cool. So you're going to scan all of Connor's pictures, you're going to get them all in Dropbox. Uh-oh, she found something. Try not to get distracted.
I know, it's so,
That was another question.
So I was just wondering if it's an expensive scanner. You may have no
How
idea.
much it
I
is.
don't remember.
It's not. I mean, it's this. I can't remember how much, but Wendy is probably watching and might be able to text Kevin and ask him really quick or something, so that we can. Or you guys can just go on Amazon. We actually don't need to do that work for you. It's amazing. You can just do this Google search or search on Amazon yourself and just search Fujitsu. Fujitsu. Fujitsu.
Yeah.
Scan Snap. That's what it's called. We love it. And I think it's a very affordable. It's been around a while, but they've gotten less expensive. So, all right, yeah.
Another good question.
Ooh, yes.
Do you throw away the pictures once you've scanned them?
Let me not answer the question yet. Let me ask you how you feel about
Oh, I
that.
wouldn't do that. That right away, I was like, ooh.
Okay, so don't.
Yeah.
That's your answer.
Yeah.
If someone else were to say to me, why keep them? They're definitely not inclined to keep them, and I would say toss them. You have them preserved. They're in Dropbox. You need to make sure you're doing something with at least a highlight of them, not every single picture, but get something into a scrapbook, the best of or whatever, before you toss them. That would be my advice, but you're just gonna hang on to them.
Yeah.
So when you've sorted those piles and you're scanning all of Connor's pictures and they're safely now in Dropbox, you're gonna keep all of Connor's pictures, even though you're not doing physical scrapbooks, you're gonna do them on the app and then print those pages eventually.
And they'll probably send those pictures with him when he leaves them.
Oh yeah, you can just take them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's your box of pictures.
There you go. Do what you want. Yeah, absolutely. So where did we leave off? You're scanning pictures of Connor. Now you have all of those pictures to choose from for the slideshow. So now they're literally all digitized. You're just gonna sit, you're gonna do it through your tears, just sit at your computer, just cry, and you're gonna look for those best of.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to see 475 pictures of Connor, except for you.
And maybe Courtney.
Maybe even Connor doesn't want to see 475 pictures of himself. But what I'm saying, for your sake, is because this is coming up so quickly and you have this slideshow to do, just literally go, okay, I'm going to give myself 1 hour, because I've got a lot to do, and I'm going to choose the best of. And everyone's just going to be standing around and glancing once in a while, maybe sitting and watching, but it's not worth hours and hours and hours for the slideshow. That's like numero uno. Then, in order to make the photo books, that's where we go back to what you were bringing up earlier, because you know this is something that we love to talk about. Once that slideshow is done, Connor's off on his mission. You are now like, okay, I've got one that has left the nest. I've got my 2 girls here. I'm just doing my thing. I'm a working mom, whatever. I'm ready to dive in. Where do you start? And as you know, what we always like to ask people is, what brings you the most joy when you think about how you're going to scrapbook? What are you the most excited about? Connor's mission. You've already answered that question. Well, Connor's mission is going to be an occasional layout once in a while when he puts pictures in Dropbox, and that is awesome and it's brilliant. And you guys have already communicated. You have a system that's in place, and he hasn't even left. Boom. So good. The question is what else do you want to be working on? So, a couple of thoughts. you can go ahead, like we were talking about with the physical album, and at least transfer some of those small little album events into a larger 12 by 12 album for the reasons that we already talked about, because it makes sense for you because of your end goal with the albums. If that would feel productive to you, that would kind of get you excited and motivated to like keep going, because you're like, look at me, I'm going, I'm doing it, then do that. But if there is a particular theme or one of the kids that is feeling them like kind of more motivating for right now, because it's always going to change, then that's what you should do. So tell me what your thoughts are.
Well, my other thought is because of Caitlin's senior year, and she's involved in so many things.
And she doesn't even have a scrapbook.
And she doesn't even have a
And
scrapbook.
Courtney do, which we found out in part 1. Poor girl.
I know, it's so sad.
Keep going though.
So maybe I could get her to high school, maybe like how Courtney said, doing grade school and high school is start working on her high school, so that when she graduates, she'll have her high school. That can be almost like a gift for her. But at the same time, I could probably be working on Courtney's as well. Connor's over, I'm gonna be, so I can't work on something for Caitlin and not work on something for Courtney.
Really?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Look at her looking at me.
Courtney?
What?
She would be fine. You would be fine.
If she was working on something for Caitlin, not for me.
Yes.
Oh, good answer with the camera on.
Yeah, good answer. So you didn't think you
but
had
Caitlin,
to
but like I said, Caitlin's and with Caitlin, I'm already taking pictures of her. Like it'll be easier. Like and she has you have the app on your phone.
Yeah, I have a lot of pages.
Yeah.
I have a bunch of pages on my phone.
Yeah.
I just
She
have
just needs to
Yeah,
print
she just needs to
Yeah.
get done. And those will be part of her scrapbook?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So we can work together on hers. But
Okay.
because Caitlin doesn't have the app on her phone, it would be nice to get her stuff, especially these last 2 years that when she's been more involved in school and cheer and student council, things like that.
I really like what evolved, and thanks to Courtney in this whole conversation, is that none of us knew before, which is that each of your kids really can have 2 photo books that they leave with. And photo book 1 is their whole childhood up till high school, and photo book 2 is high school.
Yeah.
And I think that that's brilliant, because now that you know that, and we'll talk more about page count later, because that's something that we haven't yet announced with the photo books and that option. But once you know how many pages will fit in a photo book, then you do the math and go, okay, so baby until through 8th grade is that many years, and we divide it by this many pages, and then we know that each year of their life is basically about this many pages. Or you don't do it by year, it could be like, here's their sports, and here's their trips, and here's their whatever. Yes?
We're just at 30 minutes on it.
Okay, so we do need to wrap up. But does that make sense?
Yes.
Like, Courtney, you get major kudos for that idea, because that's why talking to you guys and asking for your input was brilliant, because she gave that input, and then Connor's like, hey, that actually does sound good. And I'm pretty sure Caitlin's gonna be grateful for anything. Poor girl, that's nothing. Oh, so good. All right, so if that sounds good to you, you know what you're doing for the slideshow, you know that you're scanning. We're starting with Connor because of that. Like, this feels like a really good start to a game plan. Now, what's gonna happen off camera is I'm gonna just put a little bit more thought into this. That's just a timer. It's all right, it's all good. I'm gonna put a little bit more thought into this and refine it just a touch. And that's what we're gonna put in the blog post, so that later people can actually see more specifically. Because we can talk generally like, yeah, scan this, do this, put this book together, but what exactly does that mean? What kind of order makes sense for you? That's a true game plan, and that is something that makes sense in writing.
Right.
Do you agree with that? Okay, so we wanna wrap this up. We wanna be done, so I wanna make sure that I am not forgetting a couple of key things. We've already talked about the fact that you are 100% an app girl, and yet what evolved is that you are okay taking a few of those little photo books, transferring the 4x6 pictures to photo pocket pages. All of our physical product, by the way, can be found at beckyhiggins.com. It's also at Michael's, Hobby Lobby, Joanne, Spotlight, stores like that, for those of you who are newer. And then, okay, this is my last question for you, or last thing for you to think about, is journaling. Okay, and I've seen your app pages, and you are adding journaling, but I haven't read it.
But I don't add a ton.
That's fine.
Yeah.
You don't have to be like this long-winded writer. I like to write, I really like to talk. I'm a little bit long-winded sometimes, and I will throw in as much detail as I want. Now, having said that, this is super important for you. When you're going back, moving forward is a different thing.
Right.
Especially with Connor's mission, like you'll have his emails and all this detail, and it's great. Going back, I feel like if you felt that you were supposed to add all these long, detailed stories, it'll stop you. It will stop you. So don't think that it has to be that way. I just want you to write a little bit of something. So this is the key. Let's say you're putting together Caitlin's childhood book, okay? The journaling that you would add to it would be something like this. You're gonna pretend like Caitlin's sitting next to you, and you're gonna think of what you would tell her. She doesn't need every little tiny detail, but she needs to know generally, like, what was that day like when she was born? Or where did that outfit come from? Like, did grandma make that, or was that a gift? You know, just not every single thing, but just generally some of those little details. You will remember some stuff, and don't worry about the other stuff. But getting just a few things down is better than getting nothing down. And that's the type of journaling that you would do. Also, I recommend that you do it in your voice.
Okay.
So some people, when they journal are like for their kids, they'll be like, I'm so cute, look at me splashing in the pool. And there's nothing wrong with that. I don't mean to make it sound like there's anything wrong with that, but I would recommend that you do it first person. It's your voice, and you are talking. Now, here's what you have to decide though. I kind of just made that decision for you. Like, that's your voice. Okay, you okay with that?
Yeah.
But are you talking to Caitlin, or are you talking about Caitlin?
Well, when I'm sitting here, I think I'm talking to Caitlin.
Okay.
Because these books are almost like gifts to them.
Yes.
So then I'm like, this is the time that you blah 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 blah.
Yes.
Or whatever.
I love that.
I like the talking to them.
I like that. I agree with it. I support it. I recommend it. And I say that from a place of that's not even what I do. For our family yearbooks, I don't talk to my family. I talk about my family. And the reason I do that with my family yearbooks is because I think, like, generationally, like 100 years from now, hopefully, if somebody's coming across this book, it's about the family, and they're getting to know our family from my perspective, but I'm not talking to them. I talk to them plenty, right? In other contexts and different books and stuff like that, but for this, it kind of makes sense for me to do it like that. So you know your journaling voice then. Okay, I like that you are talking to your kids. And then for your family scrapbooks, as you move forward with those, like your beach, like when you went to the beach, it's just kind of like, this is what we did.
Yeah, and I was very, like, today we went to Universal Studios, highlights were blah, 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 blah. I just kept it short and sweet.
Yep. And
yeah, and if there was something significant, then I wrote about that, but otherwise it was just very
I think it's
short and
awesome.
sweet.
I feel like this makes so much sense. The journaling I just wanted to touch on because a lot of people don't think about that part. What questions have I not answered? Like I said, we're going to do a little bit more refinement and put that in the blog post so that everyone feels like they have a detailed game plan, that if they want to pull from that, they can, but you're not, is there anything that we didn't talk about? Oh, the stuff, the memorabilia.
Yes.
Take pictures. That's a short answer. Take pictures of those and include it. So if you have like a little blessing dress or Connor's first license plate or things that aren't going to fit in the scrapbook, you snap pictures of them and you include those pictures because they are part of the story. You don't have to toss the physical items if you don't want to, but I do recommend that Connor has a box, and Courtney has a box, and Caitlin has a box. That's what my dad did, and it's forever like, that makes so much sense to me, is we each have this one little box, and that's where kind of our stuff fit in there.
Yeah.
Papers and stuff, my personal opinion, if it's not like this most amazing masterpiece that is so sentimental to the family, take a picture, scan it, and then get rid of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's what I would recommend. All right, nothing else said?
No, I'm good.
Okay, so we're gonna wrap this up. But this is a 3-part series that we did. So if you're watching now and you didn't see parts 1 and 2, catch them right here on Facebook. We are going to put all 3 of these parts on YouTube, on the Becky Higgins channel there. We're going to put it on the blog, and we'll outline everything that happened just so that you can have that in writing. If you are newer to Project Life and to our brand, if you're less familiar with everything that we do, the best way to make sure that you know what's up and to be inspired in all sorts of things related to scrapbooking and also in cultivating a good life, we do all that. You can find us on social media. We're everywhere. There's nowhere that we're not kind of like, we just like to be everywhere. Yeah. And that is Becky Higgins LLC, just like you see here on Facebook. You can find us on Instagram. We're not on Periscope really anymore. Facebook, Pinterest, YouTube, Twitter. So yeah, we're everywhere. Find us there, and also, this is my favorite thing, is make sure that you are subscribing to our emails because we love to share fun things there and many times exclusive things that you can only get through the email. So, and Toni knows all about that because sometimes those people are first to know about a sale that's going on or whatever. So that's BeckyHiggins.com/subscribe. So make sure that you're subscribing to our emails. Are we forgetting anything? This is like, how are you feeling? That's where I want to.
I'm like looking, I'm like, look how cute he was.
I love this.
I was.
Yeah,
you still are kind of cute.
Yeah, you still are.
So, no, I'm excited to get going on this.
Do you feel like it is doable?
Yes. This part, yeah.
You need to gather the family in this space, have them help, and they're gonna love it.
Yeah.
Seriously, and it's going to be very easy to get distracted with every little picture, but in that sorting stage, as best as you guys can, sort, and then kind of enjoy those
I mean,
files.
even if we do some of this, but I'm not here.
Ooh.
Instead of searching up Pinterest like she's doing
I
right now,
like that
she would be
idea.
going through a book and separating pictures of Connor.
Let's finish on that note. Delegate.
Oh, yay.
You are already saying that, and that's why I'm picking up on what you're saying, and your kids are totally old enough.
Oh,
So
yeah.
moms, especially who are watching, delegate. If your kids are old enough or your husband can help out, please, by all means, get other people involved. Absolutely. Okay, you're good. Okay, then we're over and